Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Amanda. Thank you so much for tuning in. All of the products that will be used in today's video will be conveniently linked for you in the description box below. No need to go searching for these items, just click on the link and make your purchase. Now let's get started. We're starting out with an already prepped and painted tumbler. And I have marked off a section on the bottom of the tumbler. That is where we are going to separate the glitter portion from the faux hammered metal portion of the tumbler. So I'm just mixing up my glitter here. I'm using, I believe, 2 different colors of glitters. I will have those linked and listed for you in the description box below. And then we're just going to apply the glitter using the epoxy method. If you're not familiar with what that term means, you're just going to apply a thin layer of epoxy and then sprinkle your glitter on, let that cure, and then apply a top coat of epoxy. And while I'm mixing my glitters and epoxy, you will notice here in a few moments that the bottom portion of the tumbler is not painted. And that is because initially I wanted to do a patterned water slide on the bottom, and then I changed my mind. So I do go back after I apply my glitter and after that cures, I do go back and paint the bottom portion of the tumbler prior to our faux hammered metal application. If you're not familiar with what I'm referring to when I say faux hammered metal, if you do a search for like hammered copper, that should sort of give you an idea of what I'm referring to when I use that terminology. And you can use whatever method that you'd like to apply your glitter. Mod Podge, glitter glue, fast curing epoxy, regular curing epoxy, whatever you want to do, go ahead and do that method. Okay, now the way that I achieved the faux hammered metal look was I did not apply any epoxy to the bottom portion of the tumbler just yet. So after I apply my glitter and let that cure, like I said, I did go ahead and paint the bottom portion of the tumbler. However, I did apply the water slide, and that's when I decided I didn't want to go that method. So when I removed the water slide and sort of rinsed it off and cleaned it off, I did accidentally remove some of the paint. So just ignore that. That really doesn't matter. But what we're going to do is we are going to add some foil adhesive. And after you coat the bottom portion of the tumbler, what you want to do is just sort of dab your brush in an up and down motion on the tumbler to achieve like a textured look with the foil adhesive. You will want to make sure you let that foil adhesive completely dry before adding the foil. And now that our foil adhesive has completely dried, we're going to go ahead and apply our foil around the bottom portion of the tumbler. And what I do is I go ahead and wrap it around, rub it down really good, kind of burnish it in, remove the foil, and then do that again. And what that does is it just sort of ensures that there is as much coverage with the foil as possible. Now, at this point, you will notice a slight textured look to the tumbler because of the way that we dabbed our foil adhesive on the tumbler. So you will start to notice a little bit of texture at this point. However, the next step is where we really start to get that hammered metal look. And you can try this method with any color that you want. I did blue, of course, because this is what the customer wanted. She wanted the teal blue color. But again, you can do any color. that you would like and just see how it turns out. I think it would be really cool to do like an actual copper color, and it would just, to me, look more like the hammered copper. But so in order to achieve that sort of hammered metal look, we're just going to add some alcohol inks. And what I'm doing is I'm just putting a little dab on the tumbler and then just tapping it in an up and down motion with my finger. And that is just sort of going to give different striations and make it look more realistic and more like a metal. Okay, so we're just going to leave this at regular speed for a few moments so that you can really get a look at that texture and see the process. Now, some of you may not see this as a hammered metal look, and that's okay. For me, when I decided not to do the water slide, I wanted to do something a little different and didn't want to just do a glittered top and then a solid bottom. And I didn't want to just do foil. So I wanted to do something different. And when I started this method, to me, that's what it looked like, was hammered metal. And so that's what I'm calling it. But regardless of how you view this process, it's still something really cool and different, I think, and I hope you enjoy it. So once you have this step completed, you will need to let this dry at least 24 hours. If you do not let it dry for at least 24 hours, when you go to apply your epoxy, the alcohol ink could run and ruin the look of the tumbler. So let it dry completely for at least 24 hours and then go in with your epoxy. Now, I don't know if you could spray this with some kind of sealant, if that would help, but for me, I just like to let it dry for overnight. So once the alcohol ink has dried completely, you can go ahead and add your coat of epoxy. I wound up adding 2 coats of epoxy. I then sanded the rim of my tumbler and made sure the tumbler was smooth and ready for the vinyl application. Now, this is the portion I did not film, and I did that on purpose because I wanted the focus in this video to be on the faux hammered metal application. So I did not film any of the vinyl work. However, if you do have any questions regarding vinyl, how to cut it, if you don't have a die cut machine, just anything like that, be sure to leave those in the comment section and I'll be glad to answer any questions you have. So once you have your vinyl on the tumbler, you can then go ahead and add your final coats of epoxy, and this tumbler is complete. So now I'm just going to speed this up just a little bit and then you will see the final product. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope it has inspired you to create something all your own. Again, if you do not see this as a hammered metal design, that's okay. It's still something really cool and different, I think. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching my video. And as always, I hope everyone has a blessed day.